Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Counselor Corner. My name is Dr. Paul Waldmiller, and pleasure to have you check in with us today. So hopefully we can get you some help or point the way for you. Before I get to today's subject of discussion, I want to go back to the disclosure at the beginning of the broadcast. Please don't uh, attempt to diagnose other people or yourself. Please don't do that. Leave that entirely up to a well-educated, licensed Christian therapist, please. Why is that? Well, those that are well-educated, experienced, and licensed are able to probably do a much better job than what you can do. And if you really care about yourself or others, you'll do that. Okay, you'll seek out professional advice. Okay, all right. Let's move on to today's subject. Today's subject is marijuana or THC. That's right, tetrahydrocannabinol, as it's very well known, but you probably call it THC. What are they, and what do they do, and how does it affect you and perhaps others? At the time of this broadcast, some states here within the United States are considering on a ballot whether to pass a law or to vote for, if you will, recreational marijuana, if it's okay to be used. Recently, I've heard people say on television ads, and perhaps you've seen them too. I've heard it for many, many years in therapy sessions with my clients, making claim that marijuana is safer, weed is safer than alcohol. Not true, and we're going to explain to you why. You get to make the decision whether you think marijuana is safe for you, and if you need counseling or someone that you dearly love would benefit from psychoeducational counseling regarding marijuana and THC use. THC, how is it taken? It's not just smoked, if you will, through a joint, a blunt, so on and so forth. It's also ingested, right? You could eat THC placed in food. You can inject it. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways of getting THC into your body. All right. Well, that's first and foremost. I wanted you to know that THC. What is it? What is it like? THC loves fat. Okay, fat in your body. Did you know that? Fat in your body. And did you know that there is a layer of fat on the outside of every one of your brain cells? That's right. And throughout your body, of course, but around your brain cells. So, what happens when you ingest, smoke, or whatever, THC, marijuana, if you will? The THC plugs up the fat that surrounds your brain cells with THC. It's clouded up, so your brain cells cannot communicate. So, what are we looking at? We're looking at brain cells that are actually having a short circuit. That is your high. A short circuit in your brain. Your brain cells unable to completely communicate with one another. Now, where else do you have fat where THC is stored? Well, obviously the stomach area, right? We know that. The buttocks area. But how about the genitals? Did you know men and women have fat surrounding their genitals as well? Did you know that? Doesn't matter how much body fat, if you're 4% or less, there's still a thin layer of fat that surrounds your genitals. And if you watch television or ads on the internet, you notice a lot of ads for men with erectile dysfunction. Have you noticed that? I see a lot of that, and the advertisement is not to crusty old men, in their 80s or 90s. The ads are really targeted towards young men. What is going on with young men that they need these erectile dysfunction medication so much. What's going on? Well, THC. That's right. Because for men, you need a steady blood flow, and that THC stored in that fat is not helping your blood flow at all. So with that, now we need to explain some more. Finding THC levels today much, much higher, 35, 40, 45, 50% or more. So you can just imagine the impact the THC has on the human body. It's much, much worse. We have seen children, especially with children who ingest or smoke marijuana or marijuana products with high levels of THC, exhibit mental health issues that look much like schizophrenia. Okay? And yes, because they are an adolescent and their brains are still maturing, okay, their brains are not mature yet, they will have brain damage. They will have brain damage. And as a parent, something that you should know regarding THC and your children. Now, THC breaks DNA. Your DNA, okay, is are long strands. Okay, and when you when you smoke marijuana or ingest marijuana, the THC, okay, breaks your DNA. Now, does that personally impact you? Probably not. But if you have children, or if you're going to have children, remember what DNA is. DNA is the code of who you are, what you are, passed on to your children. So when you destroy your DNA, you're sending destroyed or mutated DNA as a building block for your children. That's something that you need to be aware of. My suggestion is, if you are a moderate, even a moderate, light to moderate marijuana user. I'm not speaking about someone who smokes marijuana once or twice a year. I'm talking about at least a couple times a week, once a week, that you're smoking or using marijuana products. You get yourself tested. And if you already have children, have them tested as well. Not tested for marijuana, but have them tested with scores on their intellectual abilities. Now, I don't say that to degrade you or to demean you, but listen, we that are in the counseling field, we look at every aspect of where a person is at. And when we see nationwide across this country, intelligence scores plummeting with so many students, and it's beyond just because of COVID and they're a year or two behind. We need to take a good hard look at what your marijuana use has done to your children. So lastly, some clients of mine over the years have asked or insisted that it wasn't true, but it is true that marijuana can be addicting. Physically addicting, well, at higher levels of with higher levels of THC, sometimes yes, but mostly psychologically addicting. Like anything, food can be addicting, people can be addicting, right? There are all sorts of ways psychologically that someone can become addicted to something, and THC, marijuana use, is definitely addicting. All right, lastly, let's talk about driving a motorcycle, a car, any sort of automobile. THC, when you take one hit or one gummy or whatever of THC, how long does it stay in your body? It stays in your body, in that fat, for between 28 to 30 days. 28 to 30 days before it's completely out of your system, out of your body. Okay. Usually, alcohol is out of your body between 24 to 36 hours. Between 24 to 36 hours gone. But not marijuana. Again, it's stored in your fat. It will slowly come out of your body, slowly, okay, and it will come out. I don't want to use the word evaporate, but it will work its way out between 28 to 30 days. So does that mean you're high for 28 to 30 days? No. That only means that it's in your body. But does it affect the way that you think, the way that you operate your motor vehicle for 28 to 30 days? Yes, it does. Let me tell you something. Let's just say you're driving a truck or your whatever vehicle and you're on your way to work and you get in an awful accident. Not even your fault. It's not even your fault. But the police officer smells something in your vehicle or suspects something, so he or she gets a court order for you to do a blood test, and lo and behold, you are not high. However, you still have THC in your blood. You are in trouble. You are in trouble. So know that, okay? And people are thinking, oh boy, if I get to smoke marijuana when I want, how I want, there's no consequences. Please. Everything that I shared with you today, please. Think about, pray about, and everything I shared with you, okay? As always, any questions, please always feel free to reach out to me. My email address is located at gfom.online, gfom.online. Okay, well, this is Dr. Paul Waldmiller saying, I hope I was helpful to you in making a healthy decision for yourself or other people. Have a wonderful day. God bless.